Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Okakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and the few sisters out there, unto the like foreigners. From the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. I guess the spirit is just on the concept of understanding the financial aspect of things. All right. Which everybody at this point should grasp in their mind what's really going on, why things are the way they are. Ultimately, the goal of the current people that's in position of power is to remove something that is older than time itself. I mean, not older than time itself, but the things that's been set up since the beginning that everybody knew. And what they did was they brought up a concept that throughout history has always failed whatever society it had. All right. So this is nothing new. From Apostle Tahar on down, brothers always been going to somewhat of a financial thing. And this video right here is very informative and really opens your mind to the fact of the concepts that is being people being ripped off. All right, why people are in the condition that they are in, and the end game is quite it's right in our face. All right, but they had to get rid of this, the way things normally was based on, in order to bring in this new system. Like I said, I'm gonna keep saying it because that idea, which was an idea, was far-fetched, couldn't really taking place until now. All right, so I'm gonna let this thing play out and I'll say what I gotta say. Bring out some scriptures.
One of the reasons that we are in the financial mess that we are today globally is that people do not understand the difference between currency and money. Currency is a medium of exchange, a unit of account. It is portable, durable, divisible, and something called fungible. Fungible means that each unit is the same as the next unit. $1 in my pocket buys the same amount as $1 in your pocket. Money is all of those things plus a store of value over a long period of time. Even financial planners, bankers, your accountant, they don't understand the difference between currency and money. The currency in your pocket is a medium of exchange. It's a unit of account because it's got numbers on it. It's somewhat durable, it's portable, it's divisible in that you can make change, and it's fungible. $1 in my pocket buys the same amount as $1 in your pocket. But
that's how it was intended to be. So yeah, he's gonna say it, but that's how it was intended to be. But you have different currencies. With different currencies now hold different values, which he's gonna break it down, which is very ill.
Because governments can print more and more and more of it and dilute the currency supply, it's continually transferring wealth out of your pocket, out of your bank account, to the government and to the banking system. The reason that gold and silver are the optimum form of money is because of their properties. It's an easy medium of exchange because...
And I remember Apostle Tahar coined it too, which was very foretelling. He said money, gold and silver, that's from the heavens. All right. When he said that, I was like, that is just an ill way of thinking about it, because it's from another place. Because in this world, gold is very not easy to obtain. Matter of fact, real quick, let me get this. I gotta get this in the Apocrypha. That's rock. I guarantee I'm gonna miss something, but I know this one for a fact. Second Ezra 8:22. It says, "I tell thee a similitude, Ezra, as when thou asked the earth, it shall say unto thee, that it giveth much mold, whereof earthly vessels are made." So you can make mold out of certain clays everywhere. It's in abundance, but little dust that gold cometh of, even so is the course of this present world. So little dust of gold, that's how it um becomes gold. All right, and that's a very rare thing to do. So use precious. That's why it's called precious metals. All right, it's not so easy to obtain. So these things that's not so easy to obtain is what is this gold and silver, and that's what the Lord wanted to have man to exchange that gold and silver with, because it's not easy to obtain. And the concept of war, like I bring it out, because I was playing a game and it really makes sense. Like you need to have gold and silver really to go to war, because if you have abundance of gold and silver, you can win that war. And it wasn't a thing of that keeps dragging out, because you have to pay for the material, you have to pay for the uniforms, you got to pay for the soldiers, you got to pay you got to pay for everything. Okay, so when it runs out, that's why it had to be quick and easy. When it runs out, that was it. So that's that's what I wanted to bring out real quick. So the Lord, so it's gold is not easy to obtain because it's not um very accessible to find.
Medium of exchange, because gold and silver store a large amount of value in a very small area. It's a unit of account. Pure gold has the same value all over the planet. So an ounce of gold buys the same amount here in Egypt as it would in China or in the United States. It's durable.
Basically, it's that's true universal finances. You can't inflate it, all right? Because it's weighed. That's so that what the elites did, they couldn't. They do it now. They have done it for the past umpteenth years by giving out weak gold and silver, while they hoard the majority of it. And then what they do is they mix other metals with it. Now, I grew up in the 1980s. I was born in the 80s, but I remember back in the days of, the great hip hop artists, Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, all those, and they had that big dookie gold chain, and because I remember, that was in the streets. That's how everybody used to rock. Well, to come to find out, that big ass chain wasn't really real. It wasn't real. All right. I believe the highest in 14 carats, when it's supposed to be more than 14 carats. So people, you have to take it to the jeweler or whoever, and they're supposed to weigh it. Once they weigh it, they can determine how much gold is actually in this material. And they have to exchange it just the same amount. Okay? But how Esau have done it, people are not concerned about gold and silver no longer. Oh, he changed it to platinum. I remember when it was changed to platinum, a lot of people grew up thinking that platinum was the most precious. No, it's gold and silver. It's always been the standard. You don't hear platinum as an exchange for anything. So you let it play.
The same gold that Egyptians were using in trade 5,000 years ago is still here with us today. It does not corrode. It's divisible. You can make change with it. It's very portable. You could use something like oil as money. It's just that you can't carry around a barrel of oil on your back. It's fungible. Pure gold is the same wherever it is on Earth. Pure silver is the same wherever it is on Earth. It's limited in quantity. That's the reason that it maintains its purchasing power. Governments can...
See that? It's limited in quantity. You can't, it's not easy to attain. Silver is finally silver's breaking through. And the price of silver is going up, which is a good thing, because if you have silver, that's a poor man's gold, they call it. But silver holds value. These precious metals, gold and silver, has more than this value of exchanging goods. It also has value of medicinal purposes. Okay, like if you the silverware, okay, it has it can heal your body, your memory, and so forth. So it's not just something that's just there.
Not printed. Over the last 5,000 years, only gold and silver have maintained their purchasing power. There have been thousands upon thousands of fiat currencies that are unbacked by gold or silver, and they have all gone to zero. It's
all gone to zero. So what happened? That is what you call an unbalance. Okay. So they purposely created an imbalance system, and that's what we have grown accustomed to. It says Proverbs 11:1. It says, "False balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is His delight." So, how they used to do it? You had the same thing, like what's it called? Balance, right? But you had weights, and when you go to the exchange, this is why the Lord during the Passover was it was during the Passover when the Lord had through the money exchangers, because there was imbalance. There's supposed to be weights, and what they'll do is when people come from different lands, okay, other Israelites come from different lands because they want to go to every year, 3 times a year, the men had to come back to Jerusalem. All right, this is why you need to know the history. Let me get this real quick. I didn't want to make this too long, but I know how I am. Deuteronomy 16:16. It says, 3 times in a year shall all the males appear before the Lord thy power in the place which He shall choose. And what place was that? That was in Jerusalem. This is why when you read Acts, the second chapter, about the cloven tongues and so the cloven tongues came in the first chapter, and it gave you all the places where people came from. There wasn't there wasn't heathens from another nation. There were Israelites that came from these nations, and they spoke the language of the nations that they were. So they come to Jerusalem because it was the spirit, it was the order. All right. It says, in the feast of unleavened bread, which is Passover, and the feast of weeks, and the feast of tabernacle, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty. Oh, spirit. So now they're not supposed to come to Jerusalem empty-handed. So what was the best exchange? Gold. Is it money? Let me type in. Okay, let me just type in money. Oh, you know what? Let me do it like this. Flip the table. All right, we type in father's house. Okay, that I didn't think that was gonna be that much. Nope, it's not that either. I'm trying to reword it. So when the Lord flipped table, you just type in table. I know. Oh, it's not longer than the other one. Wow. Hold on. Slack here. Now, okay. I'm gonna have to Google it. Forgive me. Oh, I could have put cat and nine, but Matthew's 21 and what is this? Not interesting. The scriptures where when the Lord flips the tables is found in all four Gospels. Matthew 21 and 12 and 13, Mark 11, 15 and 17. Let's go to Mark. Let's do something different. I'll read that real quick. Go back to here. Mark. I don't need this no more. 11 and 15. It says, and they came to Jerusalem, and Yahushua went into the temple and began to cast out them that sold and bought in the temple and overthrew the tables of the money chargers. Oh, that's what it was. I put money exchanges, money chargers, and the seats of them that sold dove. So it was banking, right? Let me see what it says. Money chargers. Let me see what it says. Money chargers.
Strong's G 2855. Kalubistes. Kalubistes.
Says a money charger, banker. Money charger, charge. Yeah, it just says banker. Strong definition. Small coins, probably akin to, it says, a coin dealer. So they have to exchange coins. So in order to buy in Jerusalem, use their money currency, you have to bring something of value. And what they was doing, it was ill-balanced. It wasn't balanced correctly. So they was ripping the people off. And the Lord was pissed off of that because it wasn't about it just to celebrate and just give money and that's it. Nah, everything's spiritual. It's got to be from the heart. So here they are. They was being vile. So the Lord was pissed off about that. So he flipped the table and took the cat nine's tail and whipped them. All right. It says and would not suffer that any should carry any vessels through the temple. And he caught he taught, saying unto them, it is not written, my house shall be called for all nations as a house of prayer, but you have made it a den of thieves. And the scribes and the Pharisees, the scribes and the chief priests heard it, and they sought how they may destroy them, because who's banking? It was them, the elites of that time, all right, the higher ups of Israel. And Rome was getting something from the temples. So yeah, that the house of the den of thieves. So you fast forward today, this whole society is built on the den of thieves, because they went from the traditional way of things. Going back to this, where was I?
Only gold and silver have maintained their purchasing power. There have been thousands upon thousands of fiat currencies that are unbacked by gold or silver, and they have all gone to zero. It's a 100% failure rate.
And there's a failed system, so I'm just going to go straight to the scripture. James 5:1, it says, Go to now, you rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eating. Your gold and your silver are cankered, which is damn near impossible. I mean, when you go into the word cankered, it says gangrene. Because gold and silver has value. Real silver doesn't rust. All right? That's another thing they don't teach you. Real silver, it doesn't rust. So this was happening, all the devaluing of the gold and silver. That's what he's speaking of. It says, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you. Because when you go into the Roman Empire, they changed the value of their gold and silver by putting non-precious metal. Remember, everything is weighted. So whatever ounces that's for gold and silver, it needed to be weighted that way. So what they do is, as always, they got testers and so forth to make sure that it's of the value. I believe gold is not that heavy, if I'm not mistaken. But with the elites, what they did, they took all the gold and silver and gave the fiat currency. So that way they can have endless money. Nations can have endless money with no real substance behind it. And they could always have endless wars because they could constantly print out. So all this is a witness against them. All right. It says, and it shall eat your flesh as it were a fire. You have heaped up treasures together for the last days. So there's been a money grab for a long period of time, from resources, natural resources, from actually taking precious silver and gold, or I said precious, yes, gold and silver, taking that. They have taken amends, and it's constantly they're finding more gold and silver, like Uganda. I believe it was in Uganda or Ghana, one of them. They had I think it was Uganda, 13 tons of gold they found. And it so happens that Trump is interested in that land because of the fact of what? The silver and gold. They want the real thing when they give the people the fraudulent thing. And now that fiat money that we've been holding really is what you make of it. And now they're about to exchange that to give us really nothing. All right? Something that has no value, period. Which is going to be digital. So they can make money out of thin air. That's what they have done. It says, behold, the hire of thy laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud. And that's fraudulent. A man's work for the day, he's supposed to get paid for that. All right? Not to get a fucking paycheck, and before you even get your check, everybody got their hands in your check. It's not supposed to be like that. You work for that day, for your labor, you're supposed to get paid. You're supposed to get paid. And in the society that we live in, everything's on loan. Everything. So it says, kept back by fraud. It said, the crieth and cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth, which is the Lord of armies, which is Yahweh Shai. Scriptures clearly tell you that the righteous prayer pierces the clouds. I always bring that out. So everybody's mad and upset because everybody's getting ripped off. Rent's too goddamn high. Bills keep on going up. And the little money that you have, what you think is money, is losing its value every day because it's not the real thing. It's not real at all. So the Lord knows exactly what's going on. Everybody's indentured servants. And technically now, not even an indentured servants. Everybody's a slave. Okay? It's a delusion that has been sold to the majority of people. And it says, you have lived in pleasures on the earth and been wanton. You have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter. And that's talking about who? The hosts of the high ones, the elites. Which I'm going to end it off on here. Isaiah 24. Because they're the criminals. 24 and 20. Or 21. 21. It shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth, because they're criminals. They're the fugitive that's on the earth. They're ripping people off consistently. They're hoarding all the gold, silver, all the true precious things. They're keeping it for themselves when it's supposed to be technically exchange. You know, it's supposed to be utilized. These precious metals are supposed to be utilized. Why do you think the kingdom of heaven? Matter of fact, let me get that real quick, since I'm talking about it. Isaiah 60 and let's see if I can get to the point. Well, actually, I should read it in Isaiah 60. I know it. Tobit 13. Not that one. These things are going to be utilized in the kingdom. And we're going to utilize it. Says Tobit 13 and 16. For Jerusalem shall be built with sapphires, emeralds, precious stone, and the walls and towers, battlements with pure gold. So the gold is not going to be just sitting there and just going to accumulate. It's going to be utilized everywhere. All right. And the streets of Jerusalem shall be paved with barrels of precious stone, carbuncle, and stones of Ophir. And all the streets shall say, Hallelujah, and they shall praise him, saying, Blessed be the Lord, blessed be Yahweh, which have exalted it forever. So the streets of the kingdom of heaven is going to be paved with gold, silver. You know, it's going to be decked out. All right? Let's see if I can find it. Ezekiel 7:19. They shall cast their, no, that's something else. All right. 21 and 21, Revelation. And the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Every several gates was of one pearl, and the street of the city was pure gold, as it were transparent glass. So gold is not just there to exchange, it's there to be utilized. It has a vibration to it. All right. And these devils been hoarding it, and they have not been using it correctly. And there's certain devices that use these things, but that's about it. That proves that they're not the people of the Lord. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. All right? So the kingdom of heaven is going to be decked out. So with that being said, shalom to the elect and the nation of Israel. Shalom.